Good morning. Today is a big day. I'm gonna try to knit a whole sweater in one day today. And you're gonna do it with me. Let's go.
We gotta get this baby ready first.
All right, hi, hello everyone. Welcome back to studyknits. My name is Allie, and we're short for time today, so I'm gonna be multitasking this whole time. Today, I'm gonna try to knit a sweater in a whole day today. It's about 6:45 a.m. Right now. I got up with my boyfriend. He has to be at work at like 6 a.m. So I got up with him and trying to use shorter needles. Wait, let me cast on and then I'll talk. So I know you're wondering, like, can I actually do this? Okay, yes, this is bulky yarn. So this is gonna be a bulky sweater, okay? I'm going to make the Aran Gallant sweater by Caidree using this gorgeous, this is my Surella Classic Bulky in the color Willow from their Eras Tour Part 2 collection. Why do I believe I can make this in a day? It's bulky yarn, like I said, and this doesn't have a ton of positive use. This isn't a super, super oversized garment. I believe in my soul that I can do this. So I'm gonna try. I don't know, I don't count this as cheating, but I did already gauge swatch and I already caked up all but one hank of yarn. So if I need to cake this one up at the end, I will just simply pause and do that. I always like to leave one hank just in its original form because it's so pretty to look at. Just in case I don't have to touch this, I would rather it stay in its original form than caked up. Alongside me, I have my dog, Mary Jane. I'm considering watching Emily in Paris. I've never seen it before, but my mom and I are going to Paris in a couple of weeks. And one of her friends booked us an Emily in Paris walking tour. Because my mom likes Emily in Paris, but I've never seen Emily in Paris. So I'm like, should I watch Emily in Paris so that I understand what's going on? This walking tour. 46, 47, 48. So I talked a little bit about this in my most recent podcast. I've previously made, there's a couple of Gallant sweaters by Caidree. There's a bulky one. There's an Aran weight one, which is the one that I'm making. And then there's a mohair one that is worked with 2 strands of mohair. I have made the mohair Gallant before. It was one of the first things that I made. I made it during my first year of knitting. And I like it. I used Drops Kid Silk to make it. And if you've heard me talk about Drops Kid Silk before, you know that I don't love it. I find it itchy, uncomfortable to wear on the skin. So I use it a lot in vests, basically things that won't ever be directly on my skin. So I have this whole Drops Kid Silk sweater, 2 strands of Drops Kid Silk, and I don't love it. In addition, I don't love the color on me. It's a weird yellowish kind of green. I don't know. I didn't love the color on myself. So it's just kind of sitting there. I haven't worn it in a while. I liked the fit of it. I liked making it. I really like the sweater. I just never wear it. So this is sort of my way of redoing it into something I will actually wear. I have a yellow that I really, really like that I think will look better on me than the Drops Kid Silk does. I'm not saying this is like my best color, but it's gonna look better than the other one. And I'm using a yarn that's really soft that'll feel good on the skin. So already that's 2 improvements. Plus, I'm significantly more experienced now as a knitter, significantly more. I learned how to do an I-cord bind off on the mohair Gallant that I made, which is Crazy to think. There was a time where I didn't know what an I-cord bind off was. Crazy. So I'm super excited to make this and wear it a lot more than my other Gallant sweater. One modification that I know I'm going to make, I've actually been thinking about it for a while and how I was going to do it. The neck tends to bunch because there are no short rows worked. So if you don't know what a short row is, it's just basically you work a literal short row. You only work part of the row and then you turn your work and you work back without completing a full circle in the round. And it's basically a way to raise part of the garment. So it's used a lot in the necks to give it like a neck shaping so that the back of the collar sits higher up than the front. That's pretty much it. There's literally no neck shaping with this. You just work the neck and then you go straight into raglan. Hello. Hello. Where was I? So there's no neck shaping. And I think that's kind of like the look. I think that's kind of like the look that she's going for. It's just like a very clean look with truly like no bells and whistles. It kind of bugged me on my mohair Gallant that it would bunch up here. So I'm going to add, I think, just 2 short rows. I'm just going to work one way and then work back and call it a day because I don't really want to mess too much with the shaping or anything. Yeah, I don't really want to mess too much with that, but I do know I want it to be a little bit more shaped than the pattern says. If it bunches, it'll at least bunch less than it would have without working the short rows. So while my dog is demanding attention and I can't knit, I'll tell you a little bit more about the pattern. This is a really cropped pattern. I like cropped things for 2 reasons. I like the way they look. I wear them more. And they take less time to knit. It's a win-win for me. So a lot of my things are cropped. So I love that it's cropped. 10 to 15 centimeters of positive ease. I have a bust size of about like 95 centimeters. So I'm making the size medium, which is give me about 11 centimeters of positive ease. I already did gauge. I'm using a 6.5 millimeter needle. Even though this is a bulky yarn, this didn't meet gauge for the bulky Gallant sweater, which I think is just called the Gallant sweater. I think it's the OG. So even though this says it's the Aran Gallant, I'm using a bulky yarn because it fits gauge. This is a raglan sweater, which is another reason why I think it can be done in a day. I'm literally not gonna have to purl like at all on this. No working back and forth. The whole thing's in the round. So that makes it more doable in my opinion. That's pretty much it. It's truly just like a very simple raglan, very little shaping, and you have I-cord edges. Yes. And you have I-cord edging to finish it off. So I'm just gonna crank away on the neck, work like 6 centimeters, and then I'll pop back in when I'm done with my short rows. Okay, I'm back. I worked the second round of short rows. I placed one of the short rows sort of like in between where the sleeve is going to be and the other one just right in front of the sleeve stitch marker. So they'll sit like the first short row will be here and then the second turn will be like here. I felt like that was pretty even, pretty symmetrical. And I didn't want to place too far in the front because I think part of the charm of this sweater is that it's so simple and so just like, yeah, just simple with nothing too crazy. So we'll see. I mean, worst comes to worst, I can just work a little bit and then just like rip it back because this hasn't really taken me that long. Doing German short rows though on magic loop was kind of weird though. It's crazy. This would have put me in the grave my first year of knitting if I had tried to add German short rows to my mohair Gallant sweater while using magic loop. I would have passed away from just being unable to do it. So it's really funny to see how far I've come. But yeah, I'm gonna start doing the increases now. I need to focus now. It's go time. It is like 9:30-ish right now, about here. You can definitely see, you can tell where I did the short rows. Right there, you can tell. It's not as like clean looking as the back. So it was a trade-off. You know, I don't think they're that noticeable. I think it's bunching up now, and I think with stretching it'll look a little less noticeable. But it is what it is. And then I thought I would show you the lifted increases, which is how you work the raglans. I feel like it's such a cool, like a very neat and crisp look. I love it. And then I also realized I didn't tell you what I was wearing. This is one of those shirts that the Crayabea released, and I bought it. It says Yarn Club, and it has a cute little happy smiling ball of yarn, and I love it. And I'm wearing my Field Day jacket by Ozetta. This like massive oversized cardigan. I've talked about this before. I love this cardigan. I use Knitting for All of Heavy Merino and Soft Silk Mohair. The merino is Bordeaux and the mohair is claret. So it's this cool kind of heathered look. I wear this all the time. It's so comfy and cozy. And yeah, I'm enjoying Emily in Paris. I'm like almost done with episode 3. I'm really glad she's out there living her single life. And it just keeps getting less cringy, which is good. I'm so glad, because if it continued with the same level of cringe that was there in the first episode, I don't think I would have been able to carry on. So I'm glad the cringe has decreased, and I'm really enjoying it, and it's making me want to do my Duolingo.
Mon ami Thomas.
So since this is hand-dyed yarn, I am going to be working helical knitting, which was kindly recommended to me by the great people of YouTube. I asked about it in one of my previous podcasts, sort of like what technique I should do and how I should work it. And everybody said to do helical knitting. And I was kind of worried because I'd never done helical knitting before. And I was like, well, I don't really want to like have to figure it out today, like day of. But then I was finishing a sweater last week and I had to order more yarn to finish it. And the yarn that arrived was a different dye lot than the initial. So I had to do some helical knitting to finish that project. So using helical knitting twice in 1 week is crazy, Mary. This is like a 100-gram ball. And I don't want to do the whole helical knitting for the whole thing. So I'm only doing it for the last 25 grams. I just don't want to do helical knitting for the whole time. That's just a laziness. I'm okay with it looking, you know, slightly off, slightly different. I just want to avoid like a line that happens that you get when you work with different dye lots or with hand-dyed yarn and you don't alternate skeins. I'm about halfway done with the yoke. It's like 10 a.m. I feel like I'm cranking along. I feel like I haven't knit anything. What is it? This 6.5 millimeter needle. I haven't knit anything on thick needles or anything with bulky yarn in like a while, and it is nice. I have to say, no lie, it is like really, really nice.
it's just knitting up like really fast. Even if I don't finish this today, like my goal was, it's still just nice to have something that's like speedy. When I was doing helical knitting with the sweater that I was just talking about, I noticed that there was a big change in my gauge. You could tell where I had done the helical knitting, not because of any color change, but because the gauge changed. So I'm gonna try as hard as I can to be mindful and to maintain the same gauge. It got a lot looser. And I think that's because I feel like you knit, like the first stitch was loose because the yarn wasn't hanging on to anything. The first stitch was loose and then it just carried on for the rest of it. So I'm really trying to maintain like my same gauge. We'll see. I just hope it doesn't get all messed up and I'll get some more helical knitting practice in. Oh, look at this. This is my first time using Surella, the bulky. I made a vest using the classic DK earlier in the year. This is my first time using bulky, and it's honestly so soft. It does, I don't want to speculate, but I'm going to speculate. It does kind of look like something that would pill easily. I don't know if that's actually true, but this color is just perfect. It's just this delicious color. I haven't figured out quite how to do it, but I have heard from people that if you do any kind of hand-dyed yarn, alternating skeins, if you're working a drop shoulder or if you're working a raglan, you need to save yarn from where you split for the sleeves that you can then use to start the sleeves so that you don't get a weird join when you start the sleeves. So I'm hoping it's this ball of yarn. No, I think it will be this ball of yarn that I start the sleeves on, or that I like when I divide for the body. I'm thinking I'll just stop working with it and join a new ball and just continue helical knitting and then save whatever of this is left to start the sleeves. This is my plan. Oh, also, I feel like I don't think this is very original because I've never had an original thought, but I do this a lot when working increases as a way to see how many increases I've worked. So you can see, here we go. This is my marker for the raglan increase. And then I placed this marker before I put the first raglan increase in. And then all of these stitches here are stitches that have been increased for the raglan. So I can see 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I've had 10 raglan increases since I started the increases. And it's just a really easy way for me to keep track of how many increases I've done. And I don't have to be counting a lot. I can just go to my marker. I think I have to do 20 increases, so I'm halfway. No, I love Caidree. I love her patterns. However, she's one of those designers, and it's sort of like a knitting pet peeve of mine. One of those designers that lists in the instructions, it's like repeat your raglan increases 20 more times. So I need to work 21. I need to work 21 raglan increases. And I feel like there's a lot of designers that do that, where it says they'll give you the instructions and it's, oh, repeat X more times instead of the total number of increases. And I feel like it's obviously a very easy thing to understand and to write down and to fix, but it's just you're reading it so fast and you're like, oh, I need to work 20 increases. Like, and so many times, I have not worked enough increases. I've worked one less increase than I need to because I'm just careless. And that's on me. I'm incredibly careless. We know this. I talk about this. I'm open about this. So it is what it is. Just going to keep trucking along. The day is still so young. It's so bright outside. It's so nice. All right. I'm going to keep watching Emily in Paris. I think I'm going to finish season 1 and then call it a day on Emily in Paris. I don't think I can do multiple seasons of Emily in Paris at the same time. think it's like 12:45. Okay. I have one more set of increases to do on the body. Or on the yoke, I guess. And then I will split. I'm about to start my third skein. I still have about a third of this one left. But I'm going to start alternating so that I have a little bit of this left to start the arms with. It's going pretty smoothly. This is like really, really easy yarn to work with. Like I feel like it just kind of slides off the needles really well. I upgraded to my bigger like cord size. So it's getting scrunched, and now I like that you can kind of see the shape. It's cute.
Mary, tell us, how is the progress going?
Okay, I have split for the sleeves. It looks a little small, I have to say. Like, I worry that it's going to be too small, but I think that's just the way it looks all scrunched up now. I feel like it always looks like that. But obsessed, loving this little mock turtleneck moment. It is rolling quite a bit. I'm hoping that blocks out. I mean, what choice do I have if it doesn't block out? It'll either block out or it won't. Yeah. What I usually do with any kind of top-down sweater or anything like that is work a decent chunk of the body and then put the body on hold and work the sleeves. So that's usually what I end up doing. That's what I'll do. I'll work a couple of inches. Doesn't matter. I'll do a decent amount of the body and then I'll stop and start working on the sleeves. So what time is it now? It's like 2-ish, I think. I just discovered Allison from AMW Knits. She has a couple of podcasts out, and maybe like a winter plans video. But she's a great YouTube channel. I watched 2 of her podcasts today. I really enjoyed them. So check her out. I'll link her below. I made myself an afternoon coffee too. It's really good since I can't be in France. Also, I finished Emily in Paris. Did I tell you guys that? I can't remember. Honestly, this day's been a blur. I was really tempted to start season 2, but then I didn't really want my whole day just to be Emily in Paris. So I needed to be grounded a little bit back to reality. So now I'm watching some knitting videos. That usually grounds me. It motivates me to knit. And I need that now. 2 o'clock. I still feel like I can do it. Oh, I did have something to talk about. When I was going to divide for the sleeves, I had to work a couple of extra rounds for my size of just increases over the arms. I think it was the arms. Pretty sure it was the arms, not the body. But basically the stitch divisions for the front, back, and arms changed. And the marker didn't change. So when I was going to put stitches on hold, it said there should be a certain number of stitches for the sleeves, but that didn't match up with the number of stitches that were in between the stitch markers.
So that got a little confusing. I feel like that could have been, I mean, I was fine with it. I just had to stop and like read things really clearly, but it was a little confusing. I'm not really used to that being the case and just having like stitches just arbitrarily assigned for the front and the back. But it was easy to figure out. And they were labeled, but they just weren't, the stitch markers weren't moved, I guess is what I'm getting at. I don't know, this is the first time that I've made a raglan sweater in a while. Most of the things that I make these days have been drop shoulder. I don't know why. I think I did a bunch of them when I first started knitting because I saw it as being like the more beginner friendly technique or the beginner friendly like sweater construction. I'm honestly not really sure why. But yeah, I haven't made one in a while. So I'm excited to wear it. I'm excited to try it on because I haven't tried one on myself in a while. Most of the ones I made one raglan for my boyfriend. I made the Handstorm sweater. So you have no idea how to pronounce it. The Handstorm sweater? Handstorm sweater by Petite Knit. And I wear that from time to time, but it's just like really oversized on me because it's for him. And then I made the mohair Gallant sweater. The very first sweater I made was from an Etsy designer. I can't even remember the name. I don't even know if I could find the pattern. It was one of those like really beginner friendly ones, and it was seamed. It was fun to make, and it was great, but I hated the way it looked. And then I took that yarn and made a bottom up raglan sweater, which is like, it was all one color. Not to be rude, it just didn't make a ton of sense. And it was just funny just making like a circular body and putting it on hold and then making two circles and then connecting them and then working raglan decreases. Interesting. I don't wear that sweater anymore. Actually, I gave it away. I gave that sweater away, so I don't even have it anymore. I don't wear my mohair Gallant. I just don't really have any raglan sweaters that I wear, so I'm excited to have this one and to wear it. I know most people have a preference over drop shoulder versus raglan sweaters for themselves. I think I prefer drop shoulder, but again, that's just because all of the things that I've made recently, since I've actually been like better at knitting than my first year, have been drop shoulder, so I think that's why I like it better. We'll see with this one. We'll see. I'm excited. This is still fun to knit on. Actually, I need to do my stretches, my wrist stretches. I've been trying to get up and walk around every hour so that my legs don't get sad. As I just not slowly, it's going by really fast, but as I just knit away on the body, I thought I would take this opportunity to yap at you guys. Actually, here, it's been like 30 minutes and I've already done like, what is this, like 4 or 5 centimeters of the body, so the body's going really fast. That I feel like is the nice thing about raglans, is going from like basically knitting the entire, like knitting at like the widest part, and then you go to knitting the body knits up so fast. So I feel like that is a nice thing about raglans. But I know I talked about this in my podcast episode, where I talked about acquiring this yarn, my little yarn acquisition, but I felt like I would mention it again since this yarn is taking up the entire video. I think I already talked about this in my podcast, but I think I'm gonna just revisit it. This is from the Eras collection, the Eras Tour collection, part 2 from Surella Yarn. I love Taylor Swift. I'm a huge Swiftie. I talk about it all the time. I went to the Eras Tour. And I also went to, I saw the Red Tour when I was in high school. And then I went to the Reputation Tour when I was in college. So I've seen her 3 times now. Love her. But this color is Willow. Whenever I buy like hand-dyed yarn from a collection, I have like 2 rules for buying because it's expensive and I want to make sure that I actually like it. So my 2 rules are, I must like the color, obviously,
And my other rule is I must like what the color is named after. So there were a ton of colors from the Eras Collection Part 2 that I really liked, but I didn't love like the song associated with it. I think it was the Illicit Affairs color. It was this gorgeous mauve color. Like, oh my God, it was gorgeous. But I don't love the song Illicit Affairs. Like, it's all right. Sometimes I skip it, sometimes I don't. I do like the bridge. But the rest of the song is kind of like, Anyways, so I didn't get the yarn. Even though I love the color and I would make something out of it, I was like, do I really want an Illicit Affairs sweater or an Illicit Affairs vest? Not really. I bought Willow, which is from the album Evermore, and then I bought Champagne Problems as well, which is also from Evermore. Also, I bought from the Eras Collection Part 1, I bought 2 Hanks of Ivy, which is also from Evermore. But I bought that from one of my followers on Instagram that was just selling them, and it's a gorgeous color, one of my favorite songs. And honestly, before I bought all this yarn, if you would ask me if I liked the album Evermore, I would have been like, no, it's one of my least favorites. Like, I don't like it. And I feel like with Evermore, the songs that I like on Evermore, like, I love. They're like some of my favorites, right? Like some of the ones that just are such good songs that I will never skip. I'll never skip Willow, Champagne Problems, Ivy, 'Tis the Damn Season, Tolerate It, No Body, No Crime. Like there are some really, really, really great songs. And then the songs that I don't like on Evermore, I hate. I always skip. So I think that's why I never thought that I liked Evermore, is because there's so many songs that I skip, but there's also so many songs that are like up there with my favorite. Like I think Ivy is like definitely one of my top 5 favorite Taylor Swift songs. I absolutely love that song. So it's just funny now that I realize that I bought the 3 Taylor Swift Surella yarns that I bought are all Evermore songs. That's not true. I bought Cruel Summer as well. So I bought a Lover song. And then I think separately, Lover and Reputation are my favorite albums. And I love Lover, but definitely I feel like my own personal color palette is like not a Lover color palette. Things that I wear like day to day. So buying Cruel Summer is like sort of a deviation from things. I have a couple of pink garments, but they're not like my go-to staples. This is also me saying this in like mid-December. Of course, like peach and teal and hot pink aren't my go-to colors right now. Like, obviously, but I just think that's funny. So I bought Willow. I liked the song Willow, but it was my favorite like performance from the Eras tour. It was really witchy. She had this gorgeous like green velvet cape on, and the dancers had these like glowing orbs of fire. It was so witchy and I loved it. And this was the like exact same color as the like orbs that they were dancing with. And so I saw it and I was like, this beautifully represents like the song and the performance. And I just love the color. So I was like, well, I have to buy it. Obviously. I feel like, yeah, the body's just knitting up fast. What time is it now? It's 3:00. My like top 5 favorite Taylor Swift albums, because I know you were wondering. No order. Okay, Lover, Reputation, Folklore, Midnight, and Red. Honestly, if I'm being really honest with you, I always forget about 1989. I don't know why. It's just like, I think because it's like her first like pop album, and I think about like, I guess I think of everything as like pre-Reputation and then post-Reputation, and then 1989 just gets mixed up because it's like the sort of weird in between. Like, I feel like Red is like her growing up album, and then 1989 she's like grown, but not Reputation grown, so it's like a different kind of mature in my opinion, and I just gets lost, and I'm not gonna lie, I always forget about it. It's a great album. I like the songs, but I just like always forget about it. I think Reputation has the most like sentimental value for me, if I'm being honest, because I was in
in college when it came out, and I remember my friends and I, we were all Swifties because that's when she wasn't on Spotify. So one of my friends' dads bought it for us on Amazon. So we listened to it on Amazon Music on one of our friends' dad's account. And we all like sat around and listened to all of Reputation, and we're listening to all the songs. And so it just holds like a lot of sentiment for me and like my college friends, and like the excitement we felt when it came back. So Reputation definitely holds like the most sentiment for me, and I love the songs. I love the songs. And then I just love Lover. I'm definitely like a Lover girl. When I went to the Eras tour, I was definitely in like theme for Lover. My friend and I didn't really have a ton of time. We got our tickets like a week and a half before, just like by chance. We all tried to do the verified fan pre-sale, and nobody got tickets, and it was sad. And then one of my friends got a message from Ticketmaster and was like, "Oh, we stole some tickets back from the bots if you want to buy them at like what they were originally priced at." So we got like incredible seats for like the amount of money that we would have paid originally, which is insane. So we got them like a week and a half before the show. So really didn't have time to like order or make anything. I mean, I knit a top. I knit the Moon Crush tank for it. And that was fun. I was planning on knitting it anyways, and so I just decided to knit it and just wear it as like a Lover-ish top. I definitely regret, I mean, if I had more time, it would have been great, but like, I definitely wish that I'd had more time to prepare an outfit and do like an over-the-top outfit. So I'm kind of sad that we didn't get to do that, but it's fine. I would not have traded it for the world. We could have sold our tickets. I think we could have sold them for like, how much did we pay for them? We paid like, I want to say like $150 each, and we could have resold them for like $2,000. So we could have made like a ton of money, but we decided not to. And I'm so glad we decided not to, because it was incredible. It's growing. Oh my God. Okay, I'm back as promised and working on the sleeve. One thing I did want to say, I did say I have this much yarn left to do alternating skeins with on the shoulders, or on the arms. Yeah, so I think I'm just going to do like a couple of rounds of helical knitting with this, and then stop so that I have enough to work the other sleeve with. Oh yeah, one thing I did want to talk about, and it always bothered me when I was making raglans, how there would be like a gap or like a hole where you pick up the cast on stitches of the underarm. And I would always have to go back in and sew it, like sew the gap closed, because it always just bothered me. This is where I've picked up for the underarm. No hole. I saw on Reddit that you can basically pick up more stitches than what it says. So if it says to pick up 4 stitches in the underarm, you pick up your 4 stitches, then you pick up 1 on either side. So you pick up 2 extra stitches, and then you just knit those 2 together the next time you go around with either with one of the stitches that you picked up or were already there. So then you end up with the same number of stitches, but you don't have a gap. And I feel like it gives it a much more clean look than having to go back in and like sew down the gap. And whenever I have to sew anything in, like even just weaving in ends, I'm always so worried they're gonna come undone, and it makes me nervous. But yeah, I thought I would share that little tidbit in case anyone else didn't know that. Also, this weekend is exciting. My boyfriend is running his first marathon, and I am so excited. I finally get to be a WAG. If you don't know what a WAG is, it's the wives and girlfriends of professional athletes. So I get to be a WAG. And I'm so excited. It's going to be a really fun weekend because my mom is coming to the marathon and some of his family is coming down too for it. So it's just going to be like a really fun weekend with our families. And I'm so excited because I feel like he has supported me so much since being in med school. Just like so much like emotional support. And this is like the first time that I feel like I've been able to like offer the same amount of emotional support or a similar amount of emotional support. Like him running for the marathon, like training and all this stuff. The training is like a lot actually. Like I feel like I've been able to help and like support him through that, which has been really nice because he's done a lot for me since being in med school. Because med school is like a lot. Med school is like really hard, guys. I feel like my ability to finish this hinges entirely on how fast these sleeves work up. Like I feel like the sleeves could either take like 4 hours or an hour. I'm a bit skeptical on my own ability, but I'm not going to give up until the last minute. Until it becomes physically impossible, I'm going to have hope.
Hello.
Hello.
How much have you finished?
I'm like, here? Oh, Mary.
Hi, Mary.
Oh, Mary.
That's pretty good.
It's
Dang.
not bad. Mary!
How much longer are you gonna go?
What do you mean?
You're gonna go until midnight?
Yeah. All night. All night. Okay, it's 6:09. And where's the front and where's the back? Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Oh, it's tangled. But I'm almost done with one of the sleeves. I have 3 more decreases to do. I've just put it on Magic Loop. I'm feeling better about getting this done tonight. My battle wounds so far include this little finger hurts right here, and then this hurts right here. So I'm going to take a little break, but also we have dinner. My sweet boyfriend went out and got us barbecue. So we're going to have some good barbecue and sides, and we're going to watch the Love Island USA finale. Even though it happened like months ago, we're finishing it. We usually watch Love Island UK together. But this season, as you all know, was a little lackluster. And we never have watched Love Island USA. And so we were like, well, we should watch it. But we were long distance over the summer. And we were like, well, we should wait until we're back in person. So now we're back together and we've been watching it. And we have just the finale and the reunion left to watch. But I know who wins. I know everything that happens, but he doesn't know who wins. Chris, who do you think's going to win?
Ooh, I don't know. I think we talked about this.
No, we talked about. I said I would vote
to win.
Who did you say you would vote for?
It was the same with you.
Okay,
It
so
was
we both said we would
Kenny
vote for
and I.
Kenny and Janae if we were watching it live.
Yeah.
That's who we would vote for. But
Who
who
I
do you think's
think
gonna
is gonna
win?
win?
Yeah, who do you think's gonna win?
Dang, I really don't know. I want to say Serena and Cordell.
Well, we'll
I
see.
don't know why, but
All right. Well, we'll find out in 2 hours. We have one sleeve done. It took a minute. Okay, the I-cord's good. It's like a 2-stitch I-cord bind off, thank God. So it didn't even take that long. And it looks nice and neat. I worked like 3 extra rounds after the last decrease because I didn't want it to be too short. And then I remember that it was going to grow with blocking. And so then I bound off. I did like a quick try on of it because I wasn't sure about the sizing. This is what I mean by quick try on. There we go. So right now it's sitting like this, and which is like, in my opinion, the perfect length, or like the absolute shortest I would want it. And I feel like it sits really well. I'm a big fan. I was worried that they were going to get too tight here, but it's still kind of boxy looking without being billowy. So I'm a big fan. I was considering not doing the I-cord and doing a different type of bind off because I didn't want it to look clunky or weird, but then I realized it was a 2-stitch bind off and I love the way it looks. So hoping to crank out another sleeve, and then once I get the other sleeve done, it's just like, this is so rolled, but then it's just like home free. Okay, hi. I don't know what this sound is like with the mic like this or this close, or me like whispering, but I wanted to show you guys. I finished both sleeves. So we have both sleeves fully done. A couple of centimeters done of the body. Chris just went to bed. That's why I'm whispering like this. He gets up really early for work, so I really want to not wake him up, but I also really want to finish this. I still have one hank of yarn that is not caked up, and I have about, it's like a quarter of a skein and then a little bit of this one. So I am gonna wind up that last skein and just knit until they're all gone probably. It's about 10:15 right now, so will I make it to midnight and make it one calendar day? Maybe not, but am I going to finish this in 24 hours? Absolutely. Am I feeling tired? Yes. Do I want to go to bed? Also, yes. Am I going to go to bed until this is finished? No. So I'm going to go take a quick break. I'm going to go wash my face. I'm going to get ready for bed so that when I'm done with this, I can just get straight into bed. And then I'm going to wind up the yarn, and then I'm going to watch the only thing that I feel like matches the amount of brain rot that I have right now, and that is the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. So yeah, now that I've updated you, now that we're all on the same page, I'm gonna go wash my face because I feel nasty, and then keep knitting. Also, watch the Love Island finale. Incredible. Watch the reunion. Nobody does a reunion like the Americans. Love Island UK, they could never do that. They could never pull that off. That was some British ghost that did that, I think. But yeah, crazy. I was watching, I kept getting clips on TikTok of the reunion, and I didn't really understand any of it because I hadn't watched all of it yet. And it was really great to watch, honestly. I'm really glad they showed the entire fire pit scene. No lie, I actually was really waiting for that. And yeah, crazy. So I've watched 2 episodes of The Real Housewives. It is 12:30, but I am like so close to being done. Let me show you. Like so close. For my size, the suggested body length from the underarm is 21 centimeters, and I'm at 21 centimeters. However, I remember from my mohair gallant that it is rather cropped, so I do think I want to add maybe like, what is this? Like 5 centimeters more. So I think if I want to add like 5 more centimeters, it shouldn't take me too long. And then I'll bind off, so I'm ready. Mary Jane is sitting next to me on the couch. She's being incredible emotional support. So, yeah, ready to finish strong. Okay, can you believe that my mic died in the last video of the day when I finished my sweater? I can't believe it. But anyways, this is me doing my very first voiceover. It's very exciting. I did finish the sweater at about 1:15 a.m. This is me doing my first try on of it. Initial thoughts are that it's a little tight. The neck is rolling, the bottom hem is rolling, and the sleeves are a teensy bit short. I am really hoping that those sort of get better with blocking, hoping I don't sound stupid saying that. I have like maybe a third of a skein left. Don't know what I'm going to end up doing with that. Anyways, at this point, I'm really tired. I'm exhausted. It's been a long day. So I think I'm going to say goodbye for now and record a final thoughts video after blocking and wearing. Yeah, Mary's really tired too. So we're going to go to bed now and we'll talk to y'all later. Okay, hello. As promised, I am back with a more thorough review, a more well-rested review, if you will. This has been washed and blocked. Overall, I feel like all of the issues that I had with it did in fact resolve with blocking. I feel like it's a really good amount of ease. It's not too tight. It's not too loose. The rolling in the neck, as you can see, has resolved. The rolling at the hem has resolved, and the sleeves are honestly the absolute perfect length. Like arm fully stretched out, it still covers, and then arm like loose, it's like this. So it's perfect. Also, as you can see, there is no like bunching or puckering of the neck. So that means my short rows worked. You can definitely like see the short rows here, and then here and here. But we already went over this, and that was a risk that I was willing to take, and I'm happy with it. I do feel like this yarn is very tonal. You can definitely see it's just very stripy, not even where I worked the alternating skeins, but that doesn't really bother me. Things that do bother me though is you can see here, I'm hoping you can see it. Here, I think that's like even with it. There's a little like fuzzy right there where I think the yarn was joined. There's one here too. I think there's two on the back, and this just like kind of irks me a little bit. I could go back in and fix it and like get it to like wiggle its way down. I don't know that I feel strongly enough to do that, but it does irk me. Something else, I feel like it's pretty, I don't know if it's coming across. I don't know if it's going to come across in the video, but I feel like you can see like some scalloping where I worked the decreases. I'm not really sure what that's about. I don't know if I worked the decreases too tight or what, but I can definitely tell where I've worked the decreases. All in all, super happy with this. Can't believe I cranked it out in a day. Well, in 24 hours, not a full calendar day, but I'm going to count it as a day. Oh, I feel it kind of bunching a little bit here. Anyways, yeah, really happy with it. Hoping my mic is working right now. If it's not working, I'm going to lose my mind. But yeah, hoping you guys enjoyed watching watching me struggle to knit this whole sweater in one day. As we've talked about before, I'm not much of a vlogger, so I'm going to consider this my contribution to Vlogmas. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And I will see you guys next time. Happy knitting and happy holidays. Goodbye.